everyone, and welcome to another Unplugged coding class. Today, we're going to be talking about what is coding and why it was important that last month we talked about binary. First, we're going to go through a little presentation about those questions, what is coding and why did we learn binary last month, and then we're going to be talking about our maze game, and we're going to play through our maze game. Okay. So today for our Unplugged coding class, we're going to be coding a maze game together. But first, what is coding? It's a set of instructions we give a computer to tell it what to do. So today we are going to create a basic set of instructions to help our game icon move along the board. We have set commands, including forward, backwards, turning left, turning right, and stop. We have to use these commands to go through the maze. You might be asking yourself, well, why did we learn binary last month? Computers speak in binaries. We learned that. Humans don't, though. So we need a translator to translate our commands to the computer because computers don't understand what we want it to do. They understand only binary. Computer programs translate binary words for us. Now, with our Unplugged coding class, we don't have computers. Instead, when we write down our command, our brain translates it for us so that our hands can move our icon along the maze. Our brains are doing the same part that the computer programs would be doing. And here's a list of some computer programs you might have heard of. Scratch, Ruby, Python, Blockly, HTML, JavaScript, so many more. If you've heard of any of those are computer programs. In December, I'm going to be going over a bunch of apps that you can use to learn and to expand your knowledge of programming and coding specifically. And those apps are converting and translating what you want it to do, the commands in the game, to a binary code so that the computer, whether that's on a tablet or on your laptop or a computer at home, it translates it so that the computer knows what you want it to do, what the command is. And we're just going to escape here. Now, you guys are going to go to the folder that I've sent you guys. It's on buckslib.org with the event page. And you're going to go to your directional coding game PDF. When you open that up, you're going to have your record sheet. And you can print that off twice. You're going to get your basic commands. These are the ones: forward, backwards, turn left, turn right, and stop. And then level 1, a game, and then level 2. In the level 1, the one that we're going to do together, you first have to go to step 1, 2, then 3, in that order before you finish. And we're just going to do maybe step 1 and step 2 together. And then you guys can go on and do the rest of the game and figure out the lines of code that you'll need to get your icon where it needs to go. So we'll be back in just a moment. Now that we know a little bit more about what is coding and why binary is so important in coding, we can start our maze game. So on buckslib.org, on the event page itself, we provided a link for the resources that you'll need. I did go over where you can find it. You're going to go to the coding maze game, and you're going to print out the documents there. In that, you will find step or level 1, the first game, as well as the commands that you'll need. There's also a bunch of random squares for your unplugged coding where you can write and record. So it's your record sheet. Today we're going to run through our step 1 and step 2. You'll start here and then try to get to the 1 and then get to the 2. We're going to do that together. And then you at home can do the remainder, going to 3 and then finishing. There's also a second level. It's a little bit harder, a lot more squares involved. So you can program your way through that maze as well, another activity that you can do at home. Okay, so what are you going to need? Well, you're going to need your game board, so you'll have to print that off. You'll also need your commands. Another thing you might need is the empty sheet here, but that's optional. You definitely need this main game board, and you're going to need your unplugged coding commands. What you might also need is a pen or a pencil or a marker. You can write your commands right on the board if you do not want to replay it, or you could do what I did, which is I took a circular piece, I created an arrow, That tells me which way my icon is facing. It's very important because you're going to need to know if I need to turn left or right. And I added a magnet to the back of it so that way I could hold it up for you guys today. And we can run through the scenarios together. So I'm going to start by adding my icon facing the direction that I know I'm going to have to go. If I'm going to 1, I know I need to go this way. So what's the first thing we got to do? Which way is he going to move? He's going to move forward. Yeah, he needs to move forward. How many spaces? Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4 before he's going to need to do another command. So he's going to definitely go forward once and twice and then another time. So 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then he's going to go forward one more time. Okay. And then what is my icon going to do? He's facing the wrong direction. We know he has to go up here to 1. What is he going to need to do? You're right, he's going to need to turn. If he turns left, he's going to face down. And we want it to be more efficient. You could do, left, left, left until he's facing the right direction. Or when he's facing this direction, you can move him right. So, moving forward, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turning right, so he's facing up in the right direction. And then he can go 1, 2, 3, forward. And then we're going to need to use the command stop. So you're going to need to use that stop command to say to our line of code, stop on the 1. Good job. You will notice in many of the coding apps coming up in December that we'll talk about that many of them have a start icon as well. We only have the stop on our commands, but you could write a new code of start. Maybe it could be a little flag. So you would start with a flag and then begin your line of code. So it's good to note that many other coding sites and games will always have a start icon as well. In our case, we don't. So we stopped here. Now let's keep going. We have the 2. How would you get there? There are 2 ways that you can get to the number 2. There's actually a lot more, but we want it to be the quickest way. Yes, you could go forward, then turn right again, and go to the 2. Now, in order to show you how left turns work, we're going to go along the bottom axis. So we're going to go this way and this way. What is the first line of code that you're going to need to do? If we want to go this way and then up, you're right. You're going to have to turn right because he's facing the wrong direction. If you want him to go along this way, you're going to need to turn him. Okay, so that's the first code is turn right. Then forward 1, 2, 3. What else are we going to need to do? He's facing the wrong direction. We want to go up now. Yes, he's going to have to turn again. Do you know which way he's going to have to turn? You're right. He's going to turn left. And then he's going to go up 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. And what line of code are we going to need next? Stop. Exactly. He stopped right there. Good job. You know what? While we're at it, because we didn't use one of the commands. These are the commands. We have turn left, turn right, forward, backwards, and stops. Have we used all the commands yet? No. Which one didn't we use? Backwards. So together, let's go to number 3. I didn't anticipate us doing that, but I want to make sure you understand how all the commands work. How can we get to number 3 in the best way possible? Yes, we're going to use the backwards command. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So let's do the backwards command. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what does he need to do? Yeah, he's going to need to turn left. Turn left and forward 1 and then stop. So that's the way that the commands work. There are many ways that you can do this. Obviously, you could have with the 2 going all the way around to come to 3 if you really so wanted to make it more difficult. And as always, what you can do if you don't want to reuse this game board is you can write the commands that you want to do on here. So that is a way to do it. Now, what does that line of code look like? We know the way to go through things, but what does that line of code look like? Well, Put that down. I have it back here, which is why I didn't show you my unplugged coding record sheet. There we go. This first line of code is what it would look like to go from the start to our number 1. So there's our start to number 1. If we looked at our line of code, we have to do what? Go forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Move them right here. And in our line of code, what is the next step? Turn right. Yup, turn right. And then up. 1, 2, 3, and stop. 1, 2, 3, and stop. So, if I put my tin down, I'll put it right here in my lap. This is what the code looks like. And I even put the code for getting to the second step as well. But there's 2 ways. I told you you could go up and then to the right, or you could go down like we did. So you can use this record sheet to keep track, but you could also put the code right on here. You could put each of the steps into each of the squares. So however you want to do it. Let's make sure that we go back to 3. Now on your own, what is the line of code to get from 3 to the finish line? So you guys can play around with that. In a little bit, I'll add all of the answers to our level 1 online. So you guys have the line of code for each of that. So that will be posted, as well as the more difficult one as well. So you guys will have the answers and you can compare. All right, next month, we're going to expand on this further by building Lego mazes and then trying to work through our Lego mazes using very similar principles that we're kind of working with this month. Next month, we're going to build on that, okay? So tune in next month for some more unplugged coding. Have a great day, everyone, and we hope to see you very soon at our library.